Hello grade 6. In this video, we'll learn how to calculate the volume of a rectangular prism. So first, what's a rectangular prism? A rectangular prism, like a box or a book, it has 6 faces: top and bottom, right and left, they are rectangles, and front and back, 6 faces. Each face is a rectangle. And if you take, for example, the rectangle of the base, it has 2 dimensions, width and length, and its area will be length times length. Now, imagine this base is a paper, and now you move this paper upward, along, upward, till you find the level of the top. So you have made the 3D shape, which is a rectangular prism, and you have also made another dimensions, which is h. So to calculate the volume, simply multiply the area of the base times the height the base traveled. Then the volume will be length times width times height, or simply area of the base times height. It's the same if we calculated the area of the side times L, or the area of the face times width. We'll get the same answer, length times width times height. Remember that the unit for area is unit square, like meter square, inch square, centimeter square, and so on. And if you look at the volume, it's area times length. So you have, for example, meter times meter square. So you have meter cube. Okay? So the unit is a cube. That's it for the first idea. Let's check an example. Find the volume of rectangular prism shown. We have length and width and height. The volume will be length times width times height, which is 5 times 2.5 times 2. It's easy to take 5 with 2, which is 10, times 2.5, which is 25 meters cube. Don't forget this. The unit for area is a square. The unit for the volume is cubed. Okay? Take your notes, pause the video, and play again. Let's move on. The cube. What is the cube? The cube is a rectangular prism. It has length and width and height. Okay. But the length and height and width are all equal in measure. So we donate each of them as S, side length or edge length. Another point about the cube, that all faces is a squares. We have 2 squares, front and back, and from the 2 sides, and top and bottom. All squares. Why? Because all sides are equals, and the square has sides are equal. Then the volume or the capacity of the volume of the cube, the capacity or the volume of the cube will be, you can apply this law, length times width times height, and you know that length equal width equal height, so you need to multiply the same number by itself 3 times, or more professionally, when length equal width equal height, donate each of them as S times S times S. Let's see an example. Find the capacity of the cube container which has side length of 4 meters. Volume of the cube will be S times S times S. Why S? Because the length equal the width equals the height. Each of them is 4. 4 times 4 times 4 equal. If you do the calculation, 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4 is 64. Is 64. What if you can't calculate this? Simply break this 4 to 2 times 2, Okay, 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 2 is 8. Then 8 times 8 is 64 meter cube. Take your notes, pause the video, play again. Let's move on. The last special case. Again, rectangular prism. It has 6 faces. But if you looked at the top and the bottom, they are squares. And you know that the volume of rectangular prism is area times a side, or a face times a side. Let's choose the face of the base, which is a square, and the square, the length and width are equal, they are L. Now the volume will be again area of the base times height. Area of base is L times H. Then volume will be L squared times H. If you get confused with L's and H, simply apply the first rule, which is volume equal length times width times height. And you know from the square that L equal W, that means you multiply the same number for itself 2 times and then multiply times H. Okay, let's check an example. A rectangular prism, its base a square. Its base a square, that means L equal W. Equal how? 2.5. And its height is 10 inches. Find its volume. The volume will be 2.5 times 2.5 times 10. Okay? If you get the calculations, 2.5 times 2.5 will get 6.20.25. We have a special case when multiplying 25 or 35 or 45 or 15 or 65 or 55, anything with a 5. Simply 5 times 5 is 25. Okay? Then add 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. We have 1 digit, then move the digit 2 digits, the decimal 2 digits, then you have 6.25. Let's check this rule. 35 times 35 equal 5 times 5 is 25. Put 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. You can check it yourself. Okay? So 6.25 times 10 will be 62.5 inch cube. This is the first way of calculating these confusing numbers. What about another way? Let's see. We shall. Okay. Volume will equal 2.5 times 2.5 times 10. I'll ask you a question. 2.5 equal 2.5. That's simple. I don't want it mixed. I want it as ordinary fraction, only numerator and denominator. So I ask you, how many halves in 2.5? You have 2 times 2 plus 1. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 halves. Okay? 7.5 equal how many halves? 7 times 2 is 14. 14 plus 1 is 15 halves. 4 1/3. How many thirds in 4 1/3? 4 times 3 is 12. 12 plus 1 13. 13 thirds. And so on. So you can convert 2.5 to 5 over 2 times 5 over 2 times 10. Numerator times numerator, 25. Denominator times denominator, you have 4 times 10. 25 is not a multiple of 4. So we choose the closest number from 25 that a multiple of 4, which is 24. 24 divided 4 is 6. And you have remainder. from 24 to 25, we have a remainder of 1. This 1 is need to be divided again in over 4. 1 over 4 is a quarter. Quarter is 2.5. 0.25 times 10, which is 62.5 inch cube. Okay, it's clear now. We have two ways of calculations. Take your notes, pause the video, and replay again. Now, a tank shaped of rectangular prism with the dimensions, you give me the dimensions, and needs to be filled with the lubricant oil. Of the cost of oil per meter cube is $348.6. Find the total cost of the oil. In liquids, its cost depends on how its capacity or how its volume, how much its volume. So, for example, when you buy a milk from ordinary grocery, you buy it by cost of 1 liter. If you have 1 liter equal 30 pounds, then 2 liters will be 60 pounds, and so on. So you multiply the cost of 1 liters, or the cost of 1 unit volume, by the total volume. So first we need to calculate the volume of the tank, which is V equal 2.5 times 4 times 10 times 1. 2.4 times 2.5 times 4 is 10. 10 times 1 is 10. 10 meter cube. Then we have 10 meter cube of oil. Each 1 meter cube of oil has a cost of $348.6. Then the total cost will be 10 times 348.6, and this equal, simply move this decimal rightward 1 digit, $3,486. That's it. Okay, the last two examples. For the opposite rectangular prism, what is the height of the prism? Now you have the volume. You have 2 of the 3 dimensions, and you missed one. How can you calculate this missed dimension? Simply by writing the rule: volume equal length times width times height. Volume will be 60. You give me that the volume is 60, and the length is 5, and the width is 3. Height is unknown. 3 times 5 is a 15. We have 15h equal 60, which mean when you divide the whole equation divided 15, you will have h equal 4 feet. Okay, the next question is the same idea but with confusing number. I'll give you a chance to calculate it with yourself. Pause the video and check your answer again. See how I calculate this confusing number in an easy way. Okay, let's move on. The rectangular prism shown has a volume of 94.5 cubic inches with the length, and we have length and width. We don't know the height. Simply applying the rule: volume equal length times width times height. 94.5 equal 4.5 times 6 times h. If you look closely to these numbers, you will find some interesting thing. You have 4.5 and 4.5, and guess what? We have 90 also. So what's the relation? Guess what is the relation? The relation that 4.5, which is 4.5 times 2 equal 9, and 4.5 or 4.5 times 20 equal 90. Okay, so we'll use this point. We break this 94.5 into 90 plus 4.5 equal 4.5 times 6 times h. Divide the whole equations by 4.5. 4.5 divided 90 divided 4.5, it will be 20. We just calculated. 4.5 divided 4.5, it's 1. So you have 21 equal 6h. both 6 and 21 is a multiple of 3, then divide 3, we have 7 and 2. Then h equal 7 half. 7 half is 3 and half inch meters. Inch or meter? Inch. 3.5 inches. Okay? So don't get confused with the numbers, just relax and make it simple. Now solving the homework. Pause your video, solve yourself, replay and check your answer. Let's move on. Cube has a side edge of 15 inches. Find its volume. The volume will be 15 times 15 times 15. Why 15 times 15 times 15? Because the length equal width equal height equal 15. So length is 15, width is 15, height is 15. It will be 225 times 50. Break this 15 into 10 plus 5. So you have volume equal 225 times 10 is 2250 plus 225 times 5 is 1125. Just add, you will have 3375 inch cube. Okay, solve the next one. Pause the video, solve yourself and check your answer. Find the volume. Simply the volume will be 4 times 2 and half times 1 and half. 4 times 2 and half is a 10 times 1, you have 10, so convert it to decimal, convert 1 and half to decimal, 1.5. Then we have 15 feet cube. That's it. Move to another one. A jewelry box in the shape of rectangular prism with the dimensions shown. What is the volume of the jewelry box? Volume will be 6.5 times 4 times 3.5. Volume will be, how many halves in 6.5? It's 13 halves times 4 times, how many halves in 3.5? 7 halves. The surprise is 2 times 2 in the denominator is 4, and we have 4 also in the numerator, so 4 cancel 4. Then we have 13 times 7, which is 91 feet cube. Okay, another one. Solve yourself, pause the video and check your answer. A rectangular prism has the length of 8 inches, width of 7.5 and height of 6.25. What is the volume of the prism? It's very easy. Volume equal length times width times height. I consider now you solve the example yourself and you're checking your answer. I know all of you are stuff and calculations, and I want you to make you very more tougher. The length is 7.5 times 8 times 6.25. Now you have two ways of calculation. 7.5 times 8, it's a 60. 60 times 6.25. 6 times 60 times 60. 60 times 6 is 360 plus 60 times quarter of 16, which is 5. Then you will have 357 inch cube. Another way, convert 7.5 into only halves, so it contains 15 halves times 8. 6.25 contains 25 quarters. 6 times 4 is 24. 24 plus 1 is 25. The surprise is 2 times 4 is 8, and you have also 8 in the above. So 8 the above cancel the 8 beyond. So you have 15 times 25, which is 10 plus 5 times 25. 10 plus 25 is 250. 5 plus 25 is 125. Just to make simple calculation, you will get 375 inches. Okay, pause the video, solve the next one with yourself, replay and check your answer. What is the volume of the tank? If the volume of the tank is 52 cubic meters, what is the width of the tank? Apply the volume. Apply the formula. Volume equal length times width times height. Volume is 52 equal 6.5 times width times height, which is 2. If you look closer to these numbers, you will get this. 6.5 times 2 is a 13. 13W equals 52. Then divide by 13, then we get W equal 4. 4 meters. Another way of calculation. 52 equal 6.5, it's 13 halves times W times 2. 2 cancel 2. Again 52 divided 13, then W will equal 4 meter. It's very simple. Another one. Try to solve it yourself and check your answer. The rectangular prism shown has a volume of 115 cubic yards. What is the length of the prism? Again, apply the law. Volume equal length times width times height. Volume is 115 equal length, I don't know it, width, it's 2.5, height is 5 3/4. Let's convert the mixed numbers into ordinary fractions. Length times 5/2, 5 halves, times 23/4. Why 23/4? 5 times 4, this 5 whole. Each whole contain 4 quarters. So we have 5 times 4, 20 quarters. Plus 3 quarters, then we have 23 quarters. The surprise is, if you calculate 5 times 23, it will be 115. And we'll show you some idea. If you have 5a equal 5 times 3, that means a equals 3. Cancel 5 with 5. The same. 5 times 23 is 115. And we have 115 on the next side. Cancel it with them. Then you have 1. You don't have 0 here. You have 1. 115 divided 115 is 1. L equal L divided 2, which mean L equal 8 yards. Very simple. Try to get rid of long division as much as you can. Okay? Let's move to another question. A bed shaped like a rectangular prism. Its volume is 1720 cubic feet. The length of the bed is 15 feet and the width is 8 feet. What is the length? What is the height of the bed? Now you are checking your answer. Volume equal length times width times height. 720 equal the length is 15, the width is 8, the height I don't know it. Okay, 15 times 8, 120 times h. I'll ask you a question. If you have 10x equal 100, that means x equal 100. Simply by dividing 10 in both sides. When dividing and 10, we just canceling zeros. So you can cancel 0 from here with 0 from here. You have 72 equal 12 h. Then from multiplication table or time table, you know that 12 times 6 is 72, h equal 6 feet. Okay, solve the next one is yourself and check your answer. Find the length of a rectangular prism with a volume of 126 cubic feet with a width of 7 and 7/8 and height of 2 feet. Again, apply the law. Volume equal length times width times height. You have 126 equal L, I don't know it, and the width of 7 and 7/8 times 2. Okay? Let's convert this mixed number into ordinary fraction. So you have 126 equal L times how many 8s in 7 and 7/8? It will be 7 times 8, 56. 56 plus 7, which is 63. 8 times 2. The surprise is 36 times 2 is also 126. You can cancel this with this. So you have 1 equal L over 8, which is L equal 8 feet. We have finished now of the questions. You have some bonus questions. Try to solve it yourself. And feel free to ask any questions on the comments or on Blended. Okay? Thank you very much. See you soon. Bye.